Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going deep inside the machine. We're going to break down the actual architectural blueprints that really define what an AI agent is and what it can become.
Trying to build an AI agent without a clear plan, that's kind of like trying to build a skyscraper without a blueprint. It's just not going to work. The architecture is that blueprint. It doesn't just show you where the walls go, it defines the building's limits, its potential, its strength, and its entire purpose. And it's exactly the same for an AI agent. So, here's our game plan for today. We'll start with the basics. What even is an AI agent? Then, we'll peek inside its brain, look at the key blueprints you can choose from, and then get into the really crucial part, how you actually decide which one is right for your project.
Okay, let's dive right in. Before we can even think about building one of these things, we all need to be on the same page about what an AI agent actually is.
Now, this definition is super important. An agent isn't just some passive program waiting for you to click a button. No, it's an active, autonomous thing. It lives and breathes in an environment, whether that's the internet, a video game, or even the real world. And its whole job is to act on its own to get something done.
And these four properties? This is what separates a real agent from just a simple script. Autonomy means it thinks for itself. Reactivity means it can see what's happening around it and respond. Proactivity means it doesn't just wait around, it takes initiative. And social ability, well, that means it can communicate and even collaborate.
All right, so if that's what an agent is, how in the world does it work? Let's peel back the layers and take a look at the core components that make up a modern agent's brain. You can pretty much think of these as the essential systems for any intelligent being, right? The perception layer, those are its senses, how it gets information. The reasoning layer is the brain, where it actually thinks and makes decisions. The memory layer gives it context and lets it learn from the past. And then there's the safety layer, which acts like its conscience, making sure it plays by the rules.
And let's spend a second on this safety layer because, honestly, in the real world, this is completely non-negotiable. This is not an afterthought, it's not a nice-to-have. It has to be a core part of the design that validates actions, enforces rules, and keeps the agent operating safely. Trustworthy AI is built on a foundation of security, and that starts right here at the architectural level.
Okay, with those internal layers in mind, now we can zoom out and look at the bigger picture, the actual architectural blueprints. Turns out there's not just one way to build an agent. There are a few key patterns, and each one has its own major strengths and weaknesses. So first up is the reactive architecture. This is the simplest, the fastest. It works on a pure if this, then that logic. The perfect example? A thermostat in your house. It senses the temperature, and bam, it turns on the heat. It's pure instinct, super reliable, but it has no idea a cold front is coming tomorrow. Zero planning. Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have the deliberative architecture. This agent thinks. Think about the Mars rover. It can't just react to every rock it sees. It has to build a model of the world, plot a course, and plan ahead. It's strategic, it's smart, but all that thinking takes time.
And that, of course, brings us to the hybrid model. I mean, why choose between speed and strategy when you could have both, right? A hybrid system uses a fast reactive layer for those split-second decisions, like a self-driving car slamming on the brakes, while its deliberative layer handles the long-term goal of, actually navigating to your destination. It's the best of both worlds.
So here's the bottom line. There is no single best architecture. It's all about trade-offs. You need lightning-fast reactions, maybe for a gaming bot? Go reactive. You need complex, multi-step planning for a supply chain agent? Deliberative is your friend. But if you need a bit of both, the hybrid model is incredibly powerful. Just be ready, because it's also more complex to design.
Okay, so you know the options, but how do you actually make the right call? It's not just about picking a pattern you like. A really solid decision has to be based on a framework that looks at usability, performance, and, of course, security. Let's start with usability and management. A huge choice here is whether you build one giant monolithic application or you use microservices. A microservices approach breaks the agent down into smaller, independent parts, so your perception team can deploy an update without having to wait for the memory team. This makes everything faster, easier to manage, and way easier to scale up.
Next up, let's talk performance. The framework you choose has a massive impact on speed. Just look at this chart comparing three popular ones. AutoGen is built for speed, clocking in at an insane 40 millisecond response time. Others, like Semantic Kernel or CrewAI, are a bit slower, but might offer different features.
This is a critical trade-off that's going to directly affect what your agent can realistically do in real time.
And then there's security. Your architecture is your fortress, plain and simple. It absolutely needs to have clear answers to these questions. How are you protecting user data? How are you controlling access? Things like sandboxing, which isolates different processes so a problem in one area can't spread, have to be built in from day one. This stuff cannot be an afterthought.
So, how do we tie all this together into a winning strategy? Well, choosing an agent's architecture isn't just a technical choice you make once. It's a long-term strategic decision that is going to define the entire future of your AI system. This right here is the main takeaway. Your architecture is the DNA of your AI. It sets the absolute boundaries of what's possible. A simple reactive agent might be fast today, but it's probably never going to evolve to handle complex planning. A well-designed hybrid architecture, though, that gives you a foundation for growth, for learning, and for adding new capabilities down the road.
And at the end of the day, this is the question your architecture has to answer. What kind of intelligence are you trying to build? Are you building a simple tool that just reacts to things? Or are you building a true partner that can plan, adapt, and learn alongside you? The blueprint you choose today determines the intelligence you can have tomorrow. It really is the most important question to get right.